In the Fade is a crime drama that explores the trauma and the consequences on a small family scale of a terrorist attack. Katja, Diane Kruger, is a young woman dealing with life after the death of her son and husband, who have been murdered, seemingly for being Turkish in Germany. This story is fiction, but it feels close to home for director Fatih Akin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Akin was born in Hamburg to Turkish parents, and he directs this subject matter with an intensity and a focus that illustrate his closeness to the subject matter and his passion for this story. This is a film that, though fictitious, forces the viewer to consider the many similar cases that do occur in Germany, as he informs us in the post-film text, in real life. Beautiful cinematography by Rainer Klausmann is effectively used to express mood. The dark, raining nights after the attack show Katja to be trapped within a small circle of unhelpful family and police, themselves trapped within her small house, while the rain and darkness knock on the walls as reminders of the grim world outside. At the heart of all this turmoil is Diane Kruger's powerful performance as Katja. She is, in part one of the film, appropriately mournful, frazzled and furious. Then in part two, as the court scenes commence, she captures the combination of a pain from wounds reopened and a focus on seeking justice. Again, the cinematography here expresses the cold, machine-like nature of the legal system, with cold, long shots, bird's eye shots, and some harsh close-ups on Kruger's strained, pained visage. Where the camera and Kruger's performance work well to tell this story of trauma and revenge, some of In the Fade's other elements are less successful. The use of symbolism is at times heavy-handed and obtrusive. Katja's sister and lawyer both mention their young children. Katja, grieving and on the path away from life towards vengeance and death, explains that she has not had her period since the attack. Her purpose is now consumed with punishing the culprits, with no room left for life. When, in one key scene, Katja nearly acts on her rage, the sight of a pretty bird and then a shot of her framed by a fork in a tree suggest, read shoved down your throat, that she is at a crossroads, at a fork in the road. But for the moment at least, chooses the beauty of life. This scene is capped by a reveal that she is now again on her period. This is clunky, heavy-handed stuff, and the film works much better when it doesn't bother with this kind of symbolism. And it needn't bother, as there's so much already in the story, the performance, and the images alone. This moment of a kind of triple offence is bad, but it is the film's first offence, and it comes relatively late in the piece. The first hour or so, the first two parts of its three-part structure, was captivating, I found. But with part three, the narrative too finds itself at a fork in the road, and some of the storytelling decisions made thereafter could have been better handled, I think. I'll avoid spoilers here, but for me the final act was its weakest. The first half considered the complex, many shades of trauma and its aftermath. The final section reverts to a simpler genre movie plot. The pre-credits factual text also didn't really work for me. As with the animal, tree and menstrual symbolism, it felt like unnecessary hand-holding about what the important issues are here. When a movie functions on its own as a powerful exploration of the horror and absurdity of racial violence, which In the Fade was already doing, this kind of coda feels like selling past the close. I've carried on about these gripes because they did harm the movie for me, but other than those couple of moments in its final third, the movie was overall measured, effective, and really good. 4 out of 5.